How do y'all have no debt? I need to know. There are days like today where I just want to go on a rant about debt. I have $40,000 worth of debt, and that does not include my student loans or my mortgage, because those are things that they get paid when, well, the mortgage gets paid all the time. Obviously, student loans, whenever they come back on, okay, whatever, I'll have to pay that. But I am talking about daily living expenses debt. How do you not have debt? Maybe you guys do and you're just not telling everybody, and that's perfectly fine. Do whatever is best for you. I don't normally tell people, but I've been sharing my recipes, and I'm doing a series on share my recipes to help pay down my debt, because how else am I going to do it? It's going to be a continuous cycle. Like, I'm not spending money on like getting my nails done, going buy new clothes, new shoes, new bags. No, I'm getting diapers. I'm getting wipes. I'm getting formula. I'm getting groceries, things that are a necessity for us to quite literally stay alive. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this or goes on rants about debt, but something's got to give. The economy's got to change. I can do some things on my part as far as maybe I can make more money. Hello, TikTok. That would be you. So, yeah. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Well, first of all, okay, let's just address a few things that she was saying, right? About how people not in debt. Listen, there's a lot more people who are in debt than people who are in debt free. Now, it's great that so many people are debt free. That's awesome. But there's also a lot of people who do carry a small amount of debt, a manageable amount of debt outside of, as she was saying, from homes and mortgages. Well, yeah, it sucks because it's like, hey, your car broke down or something happened and you don't have the cash right now because the economy is so tough right now. And so many people don't even have $500 in a savings account for emergencies. So you might use your credit card. But here's the kicker, is what you do after the fact of once you have that credit card debt, right? Everyone always says, once you get a credit card, pay the balance off in the end of the month. Everyone says that. No one follows it, right? A majority of society cannot do that. They cannot pay off the full balance on the credit card. And it's easy for us to turn around and say, well, get more money. It's your fault. It's your fault. And everyone wants to just blame them. But that's just the reality of the current situation that's going on right now in society. I'd love to help people to not be in that position, but I'll be naive to not admit that a lot of people right now are using credit cards for survival. But here's the kicker. You still need to have a plan, though, on how to pay it back, right? If you know you can't pay back, let's say you have a card issue and it costs $1,200, and you can't pay that back once you swipe your card, the full balance in 30 days. That doesn't mean that you just accept paying the minimum payment, because that's what gets people into so much trouble, right? Because the next thing you know, you use the card again and you continue making minimum payments. And then next thing you know, you wake up and it's like, what in the world is going on? What you need to do is, I highly recommend for people to do is, at least have a 3-month plan and say, okay, I can't pay this off in 1 month, but that does not mean that after I make my minimum payment, I'm going to ignore it. It just means that in 3 months, I need to pay this off. So say, for example, it's $1,200 that you made in your car for repairs or whatever type of emergency. But $400 a month, boom, 3 months is gone, right? Obviously a little bit of interest in there, but you could take care of that. And it's gone. But you just cannot just get, you cannot just get debt and just not pay attention to that. So she is right. So many people do have debt, and some people have a huge amount of debt, right? In her case, it's 40,000. That is bad, right? That is bad. But depending on how much income you have, you could be able to pay that off. But you just cannot think that and worry. Really, the problem with society is so many people worry. And I recognize this a lot. There's so many people worry about what other people are doing. How are you not in debt? Who cares? I don't really care how people are not in debt. I don't really care about anything. All I know is I'm in debt. How do I get out of it? Right? There's so much information out there to help people get out of it. Follow the Dave Ramsey method. Right? Start with the smallest balance to the biggest balance. And in her case, she could do that. She sounds like she's doing something on TikTok. She says she's selling recipes, making recipes. I don't know what she's doing. But it seems like what you could do is just start with the snowball method, start paying the smallest, and then start building and start paying more and more on it, throughout time. Now, she might need to make a plan now with how long it will take to pay her debt off. And it might be 3 years. But if a little side hustle she's working on is bringing additional income, take that money and put it to pay your debt. You can pay it off quicker. But it doesn't mean like in the future when I get more money, then I'll pay it off. No, you come up with a plan now. Even if all you could do is just pay the minimum payments or pay $15, $20 extra on the smallest amount, by all means, you start. Because you just have to start. and worrying about what other people are doing and how they're doing it, don't worry about them. Do not worry about them, because it's true what she said, and I recognize this. A lot of people are not honest. A lot of people don't like to let people know what kind of financial stress that they're in. So just trying to worry about what other people are doing is just not going to help your situation, right? It's not going to help you at all. You just need to come up with a strategic plan to pay off your debt. It's your debt, right? Don't compare it to other people's debt. It's your debt. To some people that might have $20,000 in debt, might have $10,000 in debt. Don't worry about it. You got your 40, you come up with a plan and you stick to it. You become extremely consistent and strategic and you stick to it, right? But you just cannot be looking in the future and saying, damn, do I gotta do this for the next 4 or 5 years? No, you might not. I want to say you might not, you will not. If you're someone who's consistently disciplined and consistent and trying to pay off debt, then that means your consistency and your discipline is going to follow along what she's doing, like her little side hustle she's doing. If she keeps on remaining consistent and disciplined, she will build the wealth, I mean the income, within her side hustle in order to start paying off her debt, right? And it's going to become a lot more money. She's going to make a lot of money. Continue paying off your debt, and then next thing you know, you thought it was 3 years, you turn around, you're like, damn, I was able to do it in 6 months, right? I was able to do it in a year. And it wasn't that bad. I got myself out of that situation. And then you could go ahead and live your life. And you learn from these mistakes, right? Some people want to know, like, okay, that sucks. How you're doing it with the cost of everything being so expensive, and how, oh, there's people out there doing it, right? There's people out there that are surviving, got to cut back on certain things in your life, or you just have enough income to just pay for that stuff, right? To just pay off your debt and continue living life. Groceries are expensive, you continue paying it, and that's it. Because me, myself, I'm not using credit card debt to buy groceries, right? That's not my situation, and I don't consider myself wealthy, right? I consider myself, a little strapped, especially now with the economy being the way it is. I'm a little stagnant, right? The vacations I used to do, I gotta be careful. Taking care of my car that's paid off, because I have no time now to be buying a new car. I don't want to put myself in that situation. I don't want to introduce more debt. And not just that, right now in society, things are just like, we don't really know what's going on, right? My job seems okay for now, but how many people did videos saying their jobs are okay, next thing you know, they got laid off, right? This economy could just turn on you. And this market, man, it could just change completely, especially with AI coming out and all these new type of innovative ways. Your job could become obsolete. So I know that. So that's why I've been stagnant, keep on saving and investing, because as I said, my consistency and my discipline would get me above exactly what's going on with the economy, right? So that's what I highly recommend for her to do, is stop worrying about what people are doing, stop pocket watching. And yes, the economy is tough, but it's tough for everybody, right? Groceries are expensive for everyone. It's not expensive just for a small segment of society. Now, there's a certain segment of society who doesn't make enough, and the prices of groceries going up. Yeah, it can have a bigger impact, but it's going up for everybody. And you just all need to make adjustments. That way we don't keep on accumulating debt. Like, I understand, man, like groceries is something we need. And if you don't have enough money to pay for your groceries, you really need to start looking to your budget and start cutting things back, or seeing where you're spending so much money, in your budget, where it's eating up to the point of you can't even survive. Like, right? You need to be able to have a place to stay, food, and shelter. You need all these things. Like, you need all these things. You cannot just ignore the fact that you could just get this lifestyle that you thought you deserve, right? I deserve this, but your banking account, right, and your budget is saying, nah, man, what you deserve is this. Like, you can get to the penthouse, guys, but if all you got is this first floor money, then that's what you got for now. But you can keep your eyes on trying to move up. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's levels to it, right? You can't skip steps. When it comes to building wealth and then just having a mentally free life, right? Financial freedom and mental freedom life is just being patient and being consistent, right? You cannot just be skipping steps and expect that once you get to an upper level and you have all these things and the status and everyone's looking at you like, wow, you're awesome. If you know you can't afford it, so what's the point of it, right? All you're doing is just dragging yourself down and putting yourself, a few years back to become financially free, right? It would have taken you 10 years if you remain consistent, or 15 years if you remain consistent. Now it's going to take you 20 years because you're making all these dumb financial mistakes, putting yourself in debt, putting yourself in bad positions and financially, where now you have to recoup, and it's going to take you even longer. So that's my long-winded response to her, which is stop worrying about what other people are saying. Really, right? Like, who cares about what other people are doing or what they're saying? It doesn't matter. If you want their advice, of course, ask them for their advice. But just recognize I never met people who are just extremely honest about debt, right? I just don't. And the reason why we're seeing it right now all over social media is because, well, since people love the honesty, right, and the authenticity of someone coming out saying they're in debt. But let's be very honest, right? I'm a little like iffy with some of those people. I'm like, are they doing it for clicks? I could just bullshit my way as well and say I have $300,000 in debt. Oh my God, what do I do? But and I'm getting paid off TikTok. You guys don't know me, right? No one knows me, and I'm making all this money off of just fabricating my debt. No one knows me, right? So that's why I'm a little skeptical with people being so transparent about the debt, because some people be bullshitting. Some people got receipts though. That's where I'm like, okay, this is a whole different ball game. They're showing you the bank account and everything else. It's a different level. But a lot of people, they just talk, and they might not even have all that debt. So that's that. Catch you guys on my next video. Peace.